I was going to begin by picking up on what Peter and Harriet said earlier, but absolutely, Consuela, we could do well to emulate what Goldsmith have done and other universities and run campaigns to bring our colleagues who work in these essential services back in-house so that they can get the decent terms and conditions they deserve. But coming back to what Peter and Harriet Evans said from King's College earlier, this is not new. This slash and second slash attack on our terms and conditions is not new. We have seen this across the sector for some time now, and the FE sector went through this for years previous to the attack on HE. But what I noted when I was doing my own research into the neoliberal agenda to dismantle public sector further education and higher education, that this is part of an agenda that's been running now, as Lord Williams said, since the 70s. We have had year on year legislation and acts within Parliament by successive governments to undermine and underfund further and higher education or post-16 education. Vicky Bolivar wrote in 2015 that there were a number of universities that were at serious risk of failing for governance. It's the poor governance we need to come back to. It's the poor governance that we need to really focus our attention on, because what's happened at Reading, within the region where I'm the chair, is now Reading, we talk about being the canary in the coal mine. It's now falling like dominoes across the whole of the sector. I said in the chat, stick a pin in the map of the UK of every institution that's under attack, and it will look like a red hot rash. So we really need to come together. As Matt said, the NUS, UCU, Unison, GMB, EIS, who have I forgotten, Unite, all of the unions that are involved in our sector. There are literally more than 1 million of us. We should come together, because what the higher education and further education sector management needs is us. It's us they need. So they need to talk to us and make our terms and conditions decent. Chris Bryant wrote in 2019 in Bloomberg that HE is not even close to becoming a functioning market, and it should never have been marketized. And we've seen that now. This financial failure at Reading, as Deepa said earlier, is absolutely to do with poor governance and management, and COVID is being used as an excuse to write off the failures of those managements. As the chair of the Southern Region, which I'm guessing is why I was invited here, I just wanted to make the point, coming back to the reference through the pins in a map, Portsmouth, Reading, Winchester, Southampton, as higher education institutions, are all under serious attack right now. I've listened year on year to reports from HE, but especially the FE sector, about the de facto privatisation of post-16 education. So what I would like to say, as I say in every one of these kinds of meetings that I come to, let's come together. We've got plenty of solidarity networks throughout our movement. We have grassroots, we have branch solidarity, we have UCU solidarity. We have the movement that is coming together to support those branches that are most under attack. And we have the higher education convention support. Let's do something about reclaiming our profession. Let's do more about reclaiming post-16 education, because I truly believe we can. As much as COVID situation is an opportunity for the employers to try to push their agenda, it's an opportunity for us to go back to the employers and say, as my son always says, wait just can we wait a moment and see what we can really do here for the benefit of everybody? There's a lot we can do. I just urge anyone on this call to go back to their branches, talk to all of their sister unions, and see what we can do collectively to push back on these savage attacks on our terms and conditions, and solidarity to every branch that is under attack. Final point I'd like to make is the obvious is out there, we can see it. It's the subtle attacks on our jobs that we need to pay attention to too. In my own branch, our management talked only last week about how they are reducing the casualisation within our institution. Yeah, tell you how. They're not renewing part-timely paid contracts. Then they're ending fixed-term contracts these days now for some other substantial reason. If you're an activist, you'll know that's a casual for we just want to get rid of these people off our books. Watch what's being done under the
Marian.
radar as much as being done on the radar, and solidarity to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.